Hello and welcome to the second round of the IFSC Boulder World Cup 2016. I'm Charlie Bosco, I'm joined by Nathan Phillips, and we are live from Kazo, just north of Tokyo in Japan. Tokyo is the most populated single settlement on Earth. It's home to 38 million people across the metropolitan area. It takes up an area of just over 2,000 square kilometres, but has a population slightly larger than Canada, which takes up 10 million square kilometres. Tokyo is home to some amazing traditional shrines and gardens and modern boulevards. The athletes and we have loved our time here, but it's time for action and it is time to perform. Nathan, you climbed yesterday. The wall here is extremely steep.
Yeah.
What was the setting like?
I was actually really impressed with the setting yesterday. The setting team did a really good job. I really enjoyed the problems. We had one slab and then 4 steeper problems. I think most of the guys prefer the steep climbing. I tend to be kind of more of a slab climber, so I was happy with at least have one slab in there.
And before we concentrate on today's climbers, you were incredibly close to making the semis yourself, 21st, joint 21st.
I think I was 23rd, but still, like, really, really close, yeah.
But who do you think this sort of wall is going to suit, this steep, overhanging?
Yeah, some of the more stronger climbers, definitely. But we've got an American chief setter, so they like to set dynamic kind of burly setting, so maybe some of the French guys are quite good at jumps and stuff, so they might put some of them in as well.
Now, I've got a theory about this, that the average height of the person in this semi is higher than in Meiringen last week. This is completely unscientific because of the nature of the wall. Just having said that, Sean McCall topped the qualifications, who's probably the shortest in the final.
Yeah.
But in theory, this should suit powerful climbers, should suit perhaps Jan Hoyer.
Yeah, possibly, yeah. Yeah, they really like the burly style, and he's really good on that style, for sure.
One person who this wall would suit and will not be climbing today is Martin Stranik, who we've just heard did not make it in time for isolation.
Yeah,
so he will not be taking part.
Yeah, I think this happened in Switzerland a couple of years ago with Jerne missing out on finals, actually, being late.
I mean, whose failure is that? Is that, as you're a member of Team GB, is it your responsibility to get yourself to the venue on time?
Well, I can't really say, but like, you have some of your own responsibility to do it, but if the coach is being paid to be there and do it, then I guess they're part of that as well. But I guess it's a mix on your part and the coach.
Because I can appreciate you have personal responsibility, but is there not a system, a protocol of checking literally that everyone's woken up, everyone's alarm went off?
Yeah, I guess so. I guess it wouldn't be that difficult to do that. Yeah.
Well, we've seen Martin already this morning, and he does not look a happy chap, and perhaps understandably.
Yeah.
So, just to remind you, the climbers will come out in reverse order. So, the climbers that qualified in top position will come out last. So, the first climbers we'll see will be Tyler Landman in the men's competition and Katja Zauwein in the women's. Team GB had a pretty successful qualification, hey?
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't mean to rub in 23rd.
No, it's fine. Yeah, following on from Meiringen, we had a really good competition there, and then they seem to have just brought it again this time and put in the effort and made it through again. And
we've got 3 girls into the women's semis, including Shauna, who won last week. She looked unstoppable in the qualifiers. Is she your tip for the win?
Yeah, well, she looked really strong last weekend, and yeah, looking really good again this week. So yeah, I think she could do it again, definitely. Yeah.
Just a quick aside for those watching the semi-finals and aware that they've got 5.5 to 6 hours of climbing coming up. We're going to try something out today. We're going to have a semi-final trivia question, and it is related to the women's qualifiers. The question is, what is the age gap between the oldest and the youngest competitor in yesterday's women's qualifications? That is a trivia question. We're going to try it every semi-final. Boulder lead. So that is today's question. If you think you have an answer, go on Twitter and hashtag IFSC Trivia. That is hashtag IFSC Trivia. And the question is, what is the age gap between the oldest and the youngest competitor in yesterday's women's qualifiers? Quite a surprising answer. So hashtag IFSC Trivia, and then 16, 17, whatever your answer is. So we've got the first climbers on the wall. Tyler Lamont on the right, representing Great Britain, and Katja Zauwein on the left, climbing for Austria. Tyler was in the final last week.
Yeah, he was looking really strong last week. Hopefully he can keep it going again this time. He was looking really strong in warm-up yesterday, climbing with some of the Japanese guys. He was kind of doing some of the moves that they couldn't as well, which is
it's always a good sign.
Form, yeah.
So just remember, Tyler is up first, so he qualified 20th, as did Katja. Saw Tyler yesterday before the qualification had finished, and he was sitting 10th in his qualification group, and was not very keen to talk to anyone until it was confirmed that he was going to make the semis, but he did.
That hold that he has with his right hand there, that was on the warm-up wall yesterday. So maybe the climbers that used it in warm-up might have a bit of an advantage on that one.
That is good inside info.
Whoa, almost had it there.
Katja, this looks quite a tough first women's problem. Dynamic move onto quite a nasty looking sloper. I hope it comes across on the TV. You can just see a bit, there we go, that's a good angle. You can see just how steep this wall is. The bit above Tyler's head, or Katja's head as we look at it there we go, thank you Mr. Director. The bit above his head there, above that triangular volume, is about the only bit of his wall it isn't steeply overhanging. And the only bit of Katja's wall that isn't steeply overhanging is the bit right in front of her, before the red volumes.
So the girls one looks like they have to start in a taped square. So you have to start with both hands in that square. And then it looks like it's a jump to the big red blob from there.
Yeah, it'd be interesting if we could get a camera on the map to look up, so we could have a look at where she has to start with her hand. I suspect you're right. So Tyler finished 6th last week in Meiringen. He won the semi-finals last week.
Yeah, I think
6th in the final.
In the final, he did have a chance of winning on the last boulder as well. So he was really close. So he's definitely a contender for the win this time.
He's just struggling with that move right. It's somewhat frustrating to watch it from this angle because it looks as if it's kind of done and dusted once he gets up. But as soon as he goes over with that right foot, it shows you just how poor the left foot is. So here he goes again. Sticks the right that time. It looks, from what we've seen so far, that the key is getting the weight onto that right foot. Yeah. Katja not having much joy at all with this first problem. What is the key there? You see Katja, she's pushing her hands against that roof. She's starting off in a shoulder press position, and then you've got to swap from that and push yourself backwards.
Yeah, it looks like the way she tried just then might be the way. So there's a smaller hold just below the big blob. So I think you have to go left hand to this, quickly with the right hand over to the big blob, and then left hand to the next one. and she's just done it there.
I can assure you we don't get the feed 5 seconds in advance of the commentary. I'll watch it live. That was just that was just Nathan's skills of climbing showing through there. He didn't have inside knowledge. Katja disappointed, but bonus to start out. So, out in the men's competition, we've got right on the right, Dmitry Sharafutinov of Russia, legendary boulderer. He's done it all in the sport, really. Still out to prove himself. He's not quite looked himself this season, but he's been too good for too long for anyone to bet against him. And on the left there, we've got France's Fanny Gibert, who is my co-commentator in Meiringen. Did an excellent job. She was worried beforehand about the quality of her English, but she was fantastic. Let's hope this time, though, we are denied her company and she can make the semi-finals. Had a couple of answers so far to my trivia question at hashtag IFSC Trivia. One from Heidi. There's probably about 20 years difference between the oldest and the youngest. Also one from @DaddyTrav. He says it may be 15 years. Obviously I'm not going to tell you the answer just yet. I will tell you that unfortunately Heidi and DaddyTrav, you are not correct. Keep guessing.
That hold looks horrible. That one that he has with his right hand, the bonus hold. It looks like you have to press up with your thumbs and then match.
Okay, so you suspect you'll also match with your other thumb, or you might grab it as an undercling with the left?
It looks like really bad, so I think you'll have to stay in the little corner below it with your body and press up with your thumbs and maybe pop up to the finish, or try and turn the hold upside down into an undercut, like you said.
As we saw when Tyler Landman was on this, it's very easy to think that once the climbers have their foot on that highest black triangular volume, that the problem's almost done. But the angle of the wall and the nature of the hold is proving otherwise. So Fanny sticks that dyno. That was how you thought to do it, maybe, yeah, and then you think the left foot will go up here?
Yeah, and then over with the left hand.
Yeah.
That's it.
Just the hold you don't want to see above you there, that blue volume, that is really sloping downwards.
I think there's, on the last hold, there's a little screw-on hold on top of the sloper, but it still doesn't look very good.
You think that the hold that Fanny Gibert just went for with her left hand there may be a little bolt on that isn't quite visible?
Yeah, I think it's blue, the same colour as the sloper.
Okay.
So maybe some of the guys will see it and some of the other guys won't.
Hopefully we'll get a close-up of at some stage of that hold. So, both climbers touching the top hold there. I think you're right. Eagle-eyed. So yeah, both climbers touching that top hold. Remember, it is only a successful top if you put both hands on it and control it. 1 minute on the clock. Okay, so Fanny Gibert seems to have that move pretty dialed now. If she were to slip off now, I suspect she'd possibly have another go, because I think she's quite close. She'll be looking to get it done this time, though. Okay, now just a move for the top. She's aiming for the tiny bolt on, which you may be able to see just above the drill hole.
Oh, just missing out there.
Centimetre short. I think her fingertips even touched it. I don't think she is going to have another go. She's got time to. No. No, Dimitri doesn't fancy either. So Tyler Lamb and Katja Zarvine back out. And we also have Baptiste Ometz from Switzerland on the men's problem. And Alana Yip of Canada on the women's. So first chance to have a look at men's and women's problem 2. Both of them consistently overhanging.
Yeah, there's a lot of volumes as well on these ones. I think actually the girls number 2, the last volume is in the same place as the guys qualifier yesterday.
You think it's actually the same volume?
I think it hasn't even moved from yesterday.
And did you manage to get your hands on that one?
No, I didn't. I didn't get that high on that one. I think only one climber completed that one. Ty just sticks the dyno there.
This is a burly problem for the men. This second problem, it's all body climbing, isn't it? Tyler's just trying to figure out where to hold that. Hold. I think I'll cross through with the right hand here.
I'm not sure, I can't quite see what the holds are like from there.
No, tried with the left, didn't quite work. Baptiste Ometz making good progress on the men's problem, but this has been the move that stopped Dimitri and Tyler. It stops him too. Alana Yip, she was 17th in Meiringen, and she qualified 17th from the qualification yesterday. So she's consistent, but she'll be looking to improve on that today. Tyler just giving those volumes a clean. It's a comment we've heard a bit on social media that a lot of these problems are all body climbing. It's slopers, big moves, volumes, not so much crimp strength. Some people like that. Other people think that perhaps fingerboard training should be rewarded slightly more. Personally, I like this type of climbing.
I like this kind of climbing as well.
I think it makes the climbers think. And it means you can't just train your way to success. You've got to be a good climber as well.
Yeah.
Although look at the angle of this wall. Power is certainly an asset, to say the least.
Yeah. There does seem to be a few crimps on there as well, just to mix it up. I think they've done a good job putting a good variety of styles in as well in this competition. They did yesterday as well.
Yeah, the benefit we have of sitting here, rather than just watching the monitor, is that we can actually see the problems coming up. So for those that like crimpy boulders, we'll see plenty of action further on. Now, Alana Yip is making progress on that first problem. She did that first move a bit differently. She tried to do it statically. Here's Baptiste again. And he's going straight for the top.
Trying to miss out the bonus.
Nobody seems to like that hold much. Here's Tyler. So he's not having too much trouble getting to this point. You can see in his face he's not having to work too hard to get there. This is proving to be the tricky bit. And again, the camera angle is slightly deceptive. You can tell from the angle he falls. It's a good angle when he's at the bottom, just how steep that wall is. Just under a minute left. Let's have a look how Alana does this. So she's trying to push against that small hole in the lip.
Yeah. Has she tried the jump way yet?
I think she tried it earlier on. I could be wrong.
She managed to get past it that time. That's two methods to do this boulder.
Well, from here, which obviously Everything is a lot easier sat here than actually trying it, but from here it looked like that slightly more static way, maybe slightly easier, certainly take less energy out of you in the long run.
Yeah, she does have to then hang around on that. It looks like kind of an undercut pinch hold, and then have to campus up to the next one.
Yeah.
Whereas if you jump, then you are straight to the next hold, so you're basically missing a move out as well. So there's benefits and negatives in both ways, I think.
It's just a sign of a good problem, really. You can play to your strengths if you're a climber that can hang on all day, or if you're dynamic, you can go for it. So Dmitry Sharafutinov and Fanny Gibert have a go on men's and women's problems too. And Michael Picol-Ruaz. It's
Misha.
Misha, excuse me.
He's a good friend of mine, Misha.
Okay.
We used to compete in the youth comps together, in European youth cups.
Okay.
Most people say Michael, but it is Misha.
Misha, okay, that is good beta. I'll remember that the next time I speak to him. And we've also got Clementine Kazo out in the women's. She was 6th in Meiringen, made the final. Again, Dmitry on that men's problem 2, here he is. With relative ease, all things are relative, with relative ease up to the bonus hole, but this triangular volume that he's going to is sloping down to the point that I'm not sure grabbing it on top is going to be the way to go.
I think there is a small hold on the left side. This looks good.
Yeah. Completely different way of doing it, but makes it work. An EG. Great top from Dmitry. So, it's a different way of doing men's problem 2, and a successful one.
Yeah, I think that might be the way that it was set to do. It seems a long way to go from those crimps straight up to the little hold on the triangle.
So, Mika topped problem 1.
Yeah, he's really strong. When we competed in the youth comps together, he won a lot of them. Yeah, he's really strong, that guy. I think in Eindhoven a few years ago, in the European Championships, he made finals and was really, really close to taking the win.
So just to confirm, in this round we've had 2 tops. Dmitry Sharafutinov top problem 2, and Mika topped problem 1. I don't know if you just heard me perhaps in the background chatting to the head of the jury, just confirming that Martin Stranik did not make the isolation in time. He won't compete, and when he is supposed to be competing, there will just be no male climber. No one will take his place, the order won't change, we will just have an empty wall for the 5 minutes he was supposed to be here. Here's Fanny Gibert, women's problem 2. What do you think the key to this problem is? It looks like there's a lot of body tension.
No, it looks really crazy, this one. So I think on that one again, there's another small blue hold on the front of that like eyelid hold. So maybe you have to go right hand to this and kind of pinch the bottom of the volume.
So, out comes Roland Rugens of Latvia and Tomoko Kojima of Japan onto the women's problem. So a lot of action on Twitter. Don't forget, we have a semi-final trivia question that you can answer by hashtagging IFSC Trivia. The question is, what was the age gap between the oldest and the youngest female climber in yesterday's qualification? Pamphleteer says a wild guess at 23. We do have a correct answer. It's not 23. If you look at Twitter, there is a correct answer. We also have a question from @Marissa HHHH. What happens if they get the problem but skip the bonus? Does it affect the final score? Yes, it does. They will get the top, which is the most important measurement of the score, or the measurement of score which most affects your ranking, but they won't get the bonus. So if it comes down to bonuses...
No, if they do top the boulder without the bonus, they get the bonus automatically.
My apologies.
Sorry. Yeah.
And a successful top for Tyler Lamon on problem 3. My apologies, everyone. Corrected by my co-commentator.
Yeah, you can choose to skip it if you feel there's an easier way. Then you still get it. So you're not penalised for still getting up to the boulder.
So talk us through what happened last week with Martin Stranick. Poor guy's been in the news. Last week he missed a bonus on the way to one of his tops.
Okay. I can't remember.
You don't remember the incident?
Yeah.
No problem.
Okay. But did he top the boulder?
Yes.
Okay. I presume he will have been given the bonus if he topped it then as well.
So the wall filling up now. Tyler Lamon's already gone. 2.5 minutes of the round. So, Tomoko Kojima got her hands pressed against the roof on problem 1.
So, Ty topped out on M3. He's already out of there.
He did, yes.
Made short work of that.
By the time the director had spotted him, he was home and hosed and sitting at the front waiting for problem 4. Got it on his second go.
This women's 3 boulder seems like there's a big stack of volumes and then a huge blank face with a tiny little hole for the bonus and maybe a little pop to those 2 big red holes at the top.
So we're zoomed out right now. It'd be good if the Japanese director could get a bit closer, but I can tell you, because we've got a good view of it, it's close to our commentary position, that there is no foothold on the upper wall. So when we go back and you see Katja's Alvine, even if it's from a long way out and you can see her trying on women's problem 3, once she gets off the black volumes, you can see it there. Those black volumes, once she gets off there, that is the end of the handholds. You're smearing from there on. She's got 1 minute left. So Tomoko Kojima there on women's problem 2, not enjoying it, but Ron Rugens having a bit more joy on men's problem 1. It's that move out right that's caused a lot of the competitors trouble though. So a quick recap of the results as they stand. Catches Alvan, she's got 3 bonuses but no tops. We haven't had a top yet. Women's. And in the men's, we've had 3 tops on 3 different problems. So every problem in the men's competition has been topped. Admittedly only once so far. So, Alexander Avadunk of Germany on his first boulder, men's problem 1.
So he made semi-finals in Munich last year. Seemed to be climbing really well back then. So maybe we'll see a surprise out of him as well. He's really young, this guy as well.
He was 23rd in Meiringen. So he didn't quite make the semis. One step further this time. This is key move right. Once again, he's proving difficult. On men's problem 3, you'll be able to see on the left hand of your screen, Dmitry Sharafutinov, possibly, just needs to control it here. He slowly moves his hand across, and there we have it. Gives the volume a little tap on his way down, a little shake of the head. Perhaps that was closer than it looked. So you can see here on women's problem 3, and usually bear. Great angle from the cameraman. Got to get both hands on that top. Pump of the fist.
That's interesting, that. So there's 2 red holds right next to each other. The right hold is the finish hold.
So even if you stick that incredibly difficult diner, you've then got to match the right.
Yeah, maybe, hopefully everyone will see that if they get there. And will not just drop off on 2 holes.
Well, poor old Martin Stranik. Just goes to show you the details, what time you set your alarm for, how closely you look at the problems beforehand. We forget all this. We talk about training and flexibility and being dynamic and all these other things, but walk out, check which one the finish hold is. That's a great angle on that problem.
Yeah, it's cool.
Whoever installed that problem and installed the camera above it obviously had a bit of a plan in mind. So Alexander Avadunk. Just to the left of him, Chloe Collier of Belgium. I can't state just how overhanging that wall his right and left hands are on. It's incredibly overhanging. This is a bit of an interesting way of doing it. Don't want to tempt fate, but he looks halfway solid.
So he got to this position once before, and then I think his foot popped, but he's looking really good this time.
So it looks like he can just set himself. That left foot looks quite good. He's got the top with both
top.
hands.
He'll be happy with that one.
Big fist pump. As you say, he's only young.
Yep.
19 years old. From the small town of Marktschwab, that is just east of Munich. You just see in the background there, Leah Crane emerging, Team GB. Just a quick recap. One tap in the women's competition so far. From Fanny Joubert on problem 3. Quick look at the men's. Dmitry Sharafutinov. I said on the first problem, do not discount him. So far, he's proving me right. 2 tops. So on women's problem 1, we've got Nathan's teammate Leah Crane. And just to the right of her, Slovenia's Jene Kruder. Now you were saying a few years ago, Jene missed an isolation as well.
Yeah.
Now that was for a final, wasn't it?
Yeah, back in Grindelwald a couple of years ago.
To say you'd be kicking yourself is an understatement, but Jene is one of the most relaxed characters on the tour. If you ever come to a World Cup event, you can usually find him skateboarding around the car park of the venue.
Yeah.
He's getting stuck straight into that problem 1.
Ty gets the bonus there on men's 4.
So women's 4, which you can just see on the left of your screen that Katya's Alvine on, is really the only slabby part of this wall.
Yeah.
So you can see in the on the left of your picture, a couple of meters to the right of Katya is the golden square that says W4, women's 4. Above that is slab, and that is the only section of slab the whole of this competition wall. Let's have a look. Alana Yeep, problem 3. Now Fanny Joubert made that move not look easy, but she looked very solid on it. Clearly says more about how she's climbing and how the problem's set. Let's have a look at Tyler Lemon on problem 4. Had 1 top, that was on problem 3.
Baptiste just topping out there. Men's 3.
Top on men's problem 3. That is proving a popular one to top.
This is a big contrast from the semi-finals in Meiringen, when there wasn't many tops in semis at all. I think you needed 2 tops to get into finals.
Yeah.
I think in this one it could possibly be like 3, or maybe it was even 1 in Meiringen. But yeah, there's not many tops happening in there at all. Oh, Roland's getting close on 2.
Go on, Roland. Just needs to match. And does it.
Nice one.
Great work representing Latvia. 1 minute to go. Over on men's problem 1. Neg still heading over to that bonus hold. Tyler Landon, men's problem 4.
Ty's got some of the strongest fingers in the business.
He's going to need them for this hold because, as we're going to keep saying,
so that
it's
foothold
such a
that he
steep wall.
stood on there is really sideways hold. So it's good when he's round the corner to the right, but then as soon as he tries to bring his body around the corner, the foothold's just doing nothing. So he's just on that one arm. So
he's solid while he sets himself. Not so solid once he moves. And the Yip. 5 seconds left. Once she returns to the ground, her attempt is over, but she's entitled to carry on. So just to confirm, Yaneg Kruder did not top problem 1, but he did get a bonus. Leah Crane did not top from 1 in the women's, and unfortunately she wasn't able to get the bonus, sorry. And my co-commentator stayed remarkably neutral while Leah was climbing. Incredible professionalism. Before we came on, he did actually say to me, "Can I be biased?" I said he was welcome to be biased, but I couldn't be. It's Fanny Gibert. Anyone that watched the finals last week will know full well that there was a few alleys shouted from her when her teammates were climbing. We're all for that. So she's on to this sloping problem 4. She topped problem 3.
Getting close. That's a top for Fanny.
Great work. So our first look at Aya Ono in this semi-final on women's problem 1. Trying that move dynamically. Clementine is on women's problem 3. Again, Fanny Gibert. As I say, she didn't cruise that move, but she never really looked like falling off it. And we're seeing now just how hard it is. And on men's problem 3, I think we are about to have a top. Mika Pical-Ruaz.
Top for Misha.
Top for Misha. Great work, Misha.
So that's 2 tops for him, I think.
That is 2 tops for him. And we've had 4 tops from 4 climbers on men's problem 3. If this trend continues, and the problem is consistently topped, it's going to make attempts, bonuses count even more. So let's have a look at Dmitry Sharafutinov. So this is where you were talking about. That hold his left foot on is good now, but as soon as he moves his right foot, it becomes terrible because he can no longer push on it sideways. There is a strong pair of fingers. So strong.
The Russians are known for having very strong fingers as well.
You saw it in action there, and we just caught a glimpse of women's problem 3. You see again, that move that Fanny Gibert sticked is not proving easy.
Aya getting high on.
Aya getting higher, you can say it. Puns are allowed in here, don't worry. Go on, Aya. Oh, so close. There's 20 seconds left of the round. Dmitry, the only climber still on the wall. See those strong fingers in action. Works his right foot up. He knows that as soon as that as soon as that leaves, that right foot leaves a big volume, and he's struggling. Quick recap. Last week's co-commentator, Fanny Gibert, is this week's leader. 2 tops. And also with two tops, Dmitry Sharafutinov and Misha Pikauras in the men's. So Lea Crane of Great Britain, Ned Krud of Slovenia, both back out. Tomoko Kojima having a go at this women's problem 3. So the score here is rock up onto that right foot, reach for the hole with the pink tab that you can just see on the left hand side of your screen, and then make a big lunge. Lea Crane making good progress on women's problem 2.
Yeah, and I also getting high. So this is another method that we saw Roland do. So matching this hole. It looks a more difficult way, but as Roland showed, it's possible.
So men's problem 4. Proving something of a stopper problem. Certainly this move.
I think that was a top from Roland there as well. So that's 2 tops for him as well.
Baptiste Omets of Switzerland had a go on men's problem 4 then, but once again, that crimp proving a bit too tough to handle. So Tomoko Kojima, women's problem 3. So she's aiming to get her right foot onto that volume. Thank you, Tomoko. Right on cue. Rock up onto it. She's aiming for a pretty small crimp in the middle of the wall. You can see how far away it is, because it isn't even into the camera shot just yet. Keep going up, we still can't see it, there it is. You know it's a long move and it doesn't fit into a wide angle camera shot.
So that hold is it's a crimp, but it's upside down. So again, they have to press up with their thumbs underneath it.
A wry smile from Tomoko there. Leg on men's problem 2. Tried it and gets it this time. And this is Australian James Kazo.
He's been in finals before, so
he has.
A contender.
And he's still. Oh, slap of the mat.
He's probably got time for one more attempt, so he knows he can do it.
He does. He's had both hands on the top hold. Remember, he has to control it. It's not enough. That would be considered by the judges, and it is a judge's decision. It's not a. This isn't done by computer. There is a judge sitting underneath, and they decide whether he's held it or not, and that won't be considered a controlled hold. So we'll have to do it again. James, I'm usually terrible at predictions, so I don't want to curse him, but I do think James could be contender for the final here. He's overhanging walls. He's got long arms, long legs. He's quite a tall climber, good ape index.
He hasn't left much time to complete this one, though.
He hasn't. But
that'll be it for him on that one. Yeah, he's calling it there.
He's of the right build for this sort of wall, though. Tall,
yeah,
reachy,
sure.
Very strong. So, no, Baptiste Omets, Zidag.
Trying to miss a bonus again. Go straight for the top.
That men's problem 4, that move is proving extremely problematic. So Manuel Cornu of France is out onto the men's problem. And in the women's problem, we've got Caroline Sinhuber. See here, the hall here in Kazo, filling up nicely. Today's final is sold out. No tickets available. Luckily, you and we have the best seat in the house. So, Chloe Collier of Belgium making this move, this move up to the white hold on women's problem 3. Clearly fairly comfortable, chalks up midway through. Just see on the left there, Alexander Avadunk on men's problem 3. Proved a popular one so far. It's had 5 tops, 5 climbers. Women's problem 3, 1 top. That's Fanny Gibert. Chloe, there we go. Does well to keep her hips close into the wall, keeps the weight going through her feet, keeps the friction. So we go from balance, steady controlled movement to a dynamic throw up for these 2 holds. We've got a camera just above those holds. There it is. Thank you, Mr. Director. Taking a long look at it. And sticks it. Just got a match with the right. Big tap of the wall. Happy with that. Very controlled climbing. She paused on the way up to the white hold. Did the move, controlled herself well. And then once she had her hands on the white hold, once again chalked up, took her time, got set. Really good climbing from Chloe there. And she's earned herself a couple of extra minutes rest. Okay, so Misha is on to problem 4. He's got that crimp. This has proved the end of every attempt so far, and it proves the end of his. Asking for a clean. So, Manuel Conu. Oh, how many times have we seen that today? Climbers reaching out with that right foot on men's problem 1. Not getting it. So, oh no. Women's problem 2 and on men's problem 3, we have a successful top. Perhaps. Don't want to curse him. Nearly. Yeah. Yes, we do. Oh, I would have owed him an apology if he'd fallen off there.
So that's 4 climbers we've got with 2 tops there. It's looking like it's going to be at least 2 tops to make finals, if not 3 when the stronger guys start coming out, the higher qualifiers.
Well, every climber so far has topped problem 3 in the men's competition. Every climber, 6 out of 6. When you bear in mind that they start in reverse order, so theoretically the strongest climbers, certainly the strongest in the qualifiers, will be coming out last. You would imagine that men's problem 3 is going to see possibly a majority of climbers topping it. And we have two correct answers to my semi-final trivia question. Just to remind you, the question was, what was the age gap between the oldest? 1 second, I'll resume in a second. We'll just have a recap of the scores. Fanny Gibert with 2 tops leads away. Ahead of Chloe Collier, who we just saw top women's problem 3 in second. There's It's Leah Crane on women's problem 3. Men's problem 3, Yaneg Kruder. Leading the way in the men's standings, Dmitry Sharafutinov, with Misha Pikoluraz in second. Dimitri's just walked past our commentary position, looking very confident. We just watched Leah. Would you think this would be a problem that would suit Leah?
She's become to be quite a good all-round climber, I think. Definitely this year she's just looks way more confident on the wall than in previous years. So yeah, I think anything that the setters can throw at her, I think she can have a good go at it.
Been climbing really well, really consistently this year. And we just cut away from it and we're back on it because we had Yaneg Kruder going extremely close on men's problem 3. Not quite make it. So Leah, again, a bit like Chloe Collier before her, just take your time. Hips just moved out from the wall ever so slightly. She's got over 3 minutes left. She'll have time for another go. So Berit Schweiger is out for Austria. The women's on problem 1. James Kazo of Australia, who's painfully close on men's problem 1, having a go on the second problem.
He's going for this match method.
You can see his strength there. Just cruised over with that left hand. Problem now is how to match or find some other way of getting his right hand through. Back to Leah. And back to James, and I think don't occurs him. Yes, tops problem 2. James has a pretty good advantage. He actually owns a bouldering gym, Bayside Rock in Melbourne. If you're ever in Melbourne, go and check it out, say hi. Run by James and his wife Claire, who competed in yesterday's qualifications, but unfortunately didn't make the semi-finals. So here's your neg again on problem 3 for the men. If you're wondering what happened to Leah Crane on women's problem 3, she's just on the mat, composing herself. Neg just needs to he does it. Every climber has topped that problem. Big shout from your neg. Remember, he won't know the live score. He might have seen a couple of tops, but he won't know who's top what, so he won't know that everyone's been to the top of that boulder. So, Tomoko Kojima. Women's problem 4, the only section of slab on the whole competition wall. It's 1 minute to go. Leah Crane back on women's problem 3. Very controlled this time, just needs to stand up, does so. So obviously, relatively comfortable position to stand. Key is moving up from there, she chalks up, she's got her eyes on that top hold. So close from Leah. And on men's problem 1, Yoshiyuki Ogata. Well pronounced, yes it is, with the top and problem 1.
There's another young climber, born in 1998, so 18.
That was a race to who to do the maths first. And I'm always going to be second favourite in that competition. So on women's problem 1, out comes Nathan's teammate, Michaela Tracy. Been climbing really well, really consistently for the last year or so.
In Meiringen, she said after semi-finals, I'm glad I didn't make finals. That would be a lot of effort.
A relaxed personality?
Yeah.
So Jeremy Bondet of France is also out onto men's problem 1. He's still on the match, let's have a look. Chloe Collier of Belgium. He's currently in second. He's on women's problem 4 that has so far only been topped by Fanny Gibert, and with 4 minutes left of this round, that statistic remains. So Jeremy Bondet. Slips off. It's from Paris, Jeremy Bondet, near the bouldering mecca of Fontainebleau. Which is quite a big advantage if you're going to be a boulderer. A good place to grow up. Been doing competitions a long time, excuse me. His first competition when he was 8 years old. 2011 was his first World Cup. Let's have a look at Chloe Collier. Excuse me.
Can't quite see what she's holding there. I don't think there's actually a hold between those two she's got. She seems to be like camming her fingers between.
Some strapping on her right knee there. Doesn't seem to be affecting it. Sitting in second with one top. That was on problem 3 and she got it first time. Flashed it. Here's Jeremy Bondet. Oh.
Jeremy's had some good falls in recent competitions.
I was going to say it was a spectacular attempt and a very close attempt, but compared to James Cassay, had both hands on the final hold. Not as spectacular. Kayla looking a bit nonplussed. Not impressed with that. Caroline Zinhuber of Austria. Women's problem 2. Hasn't had a top yet. She looks up at that hold as if to say, is that it? That is quite a savage move. It's overhanging that wall. It's going to be a nasty pinch. Be interested to see how she goes about it. Meanwhile, on
Alex gets the bonus on 4.
men's problem 4. Now,
Still no one's managed to take that swing around the corner.
and women's problem 3, we had Aya Ono. Slipping off, moving up for that white hold. 1 minute left of this round. Manuel Cornu flops to the mat. Looks like he doesn't want to get back up. I'm sure he will. He's got 50 seconds left. Jeremy again, painfully close.
Michaela finally getting through this bottom section on 1.
She's aiming for a bolt-on hold on top of this triangular volume. You see it there. There's also a bolt-on hold on the top hold. Oh, can't quite hold it. She knows how close that was. Slaps him out in frustration. There, Manuel Cornu. No. Doesn't like that men's problem 2. Now, a quick recap of the results. Fanny Gibert still followed by Chloe Collier and Clementine Kazo. They've finished their 4 boulders. That's Alna Yip, Katja Zauerwein.
So, Clementine, other than Fanny, even though she has no top, she is the only climber who has 4 bonuses. So that's why she's way up there in third.
So Clementine, 4 bonuses but no tops. It's consistent climbing. Given the fact that we've only had, of the 6 climbers who've finished all 4 problems in the women's event, only 2 have had any tops. Who knows? 4 bonuses. So, Mei Kotaki on women's problem 3, cheered on by the local crowd. There were 44 Japanese climbers in yesterday's qualifiers. Well, she isn't actually holding anything there. That is just, I can assure you, because she's very close to us, that is just wall. Now she's gripping the volume. You can see the hole she's going for. Just needs to be controlled. She's got some strappy on that right knee. And this move she's on is not sympathetic to right knee injuries. Meanwhile, we cut to Leah Crane. On problem 4. Not at a top yet, but 2 bonuses. Shake of the head. She's got 3 minutes left though. Climbing really well there. Chatted to her yesterday after qualifying. She thoroughly enjoyed the experience of Japan and thought the qualifying boulders were fantastic. She's in very good spirits. So, can Mei Kotaki make this move work up to the 2 red holes? Remember, the right hand hole is the top. She needs to get both hands on the right hand hole. So she'll go 1 hand on each hold and then get the right hand over if she makes it that far.
Very close for Yoshiyuki there. Ah, and Petra. Petra tops women's 1. First top.
Petra Klingler, extremely determined climber. She only comes off when she's given it everything she has.
So there's only 1 boulder left that hasn't seen a top yet, and that's women's 2.
Has men's problem 4 seen a top?
Oh yeah, my bad, sorry.
one in each category.
Yeah.
Big smile there. Well, according to the clock, Mei Kotaki was up there for 1 minute and 20 seconds. It's Leah Crane. So she got herself established here. Very spectacular fall there. On men's problem 1 from Tomoaki Takato. So, here's your Ned Kruder. He of the Mohawk. He's grown it out a bit since Meiringen. Last week it was very pronounced. As I say, one of the most relaxed guys on the circuit. When he's on the wall, he's a fierce competitor. This problem hasn't had a top. Had a look at that hole and he thought, oh wow, don't like that. Sorry, Ineg, I'm sorry to break it to you, but you're going to have to use it. Because there ain't a lot else. Went up for the one above it. And he's touched it, but it doesn't look from here, and it doesn't look on the close-ups like it's any better than the one he was using. Calm as you like, Yoshiyuki Ogata shakes out.
This cross-through method again. Oh, so close.
You might be able to hear the Japanese crowd doing the commentating for me when he's climbing. Big shriek as he missed that. No. So no joy there for Mei Kotaki either. A big smile on her face, enjoying climbing in front of this big home crowd. Fanny Gibert, just to remind you, still leads away. She's got 2 tops ahead of Chloe Collier. And in 3rd place, having only done 1 boulder, Petra Klingler, because she topped that 1 boulder. Dmitry Sherefosynov still leads Misha Kikol-Ruaz in second, with Roland Rugens third. So, here is the crowd favourite, Akiya Noguchi. And Kokoro Fuji, her Japanese teammate, joins her. We've been in Kazo and Tokyo most of this week, and to say that Akiyo has been receiving a lot of media attention is an understatement. This competition would be on Japanese national TV. She's been followed everywhere she goes by a media crew. She's been interviewed by I don't know how many media teams, including us. She's done it all with a smile on her face. She's still in good spirits. And you hope that the reigning World Cup champion will allow the pressure to affect her positively, because there is some pressure. She's in front of a home crowd. As I said, huge amount of attention on her. So it's the reigning champion. Fourth in Meiringen. Didn't look her usual dominant self. And we have a top on men's problem too, Jeremy Bondet. He will get 3 minutes of extra rest, 3 minutes this round left. We're back to Akiyo. Real veteran Akiya Noguchi. Still motivated.
Kokoro getting close on one, and he tops it. Kokoro is a really strong climber. He works at a gym in Tokyo called B Pump, and we went there the other day. It's a really cool gym, actually.
Was he there?
Yeah, he was working, he wasn't climbing.
Okay, that's cool. One of the downsides of being a professional climber and not a professional soccer player or baseball player, you do have to work as well. Most climbers do. But I suppose if route setting's your job, much as it's hard work,
It's still
still plenty of climbing to be done.
Yeah.
Well, Nathan sat right next to me is an expert on that matter.
Yeah.
Freelance route setter.
Route setter and coach.
So this looks very promising for Aya Ono in women's problem 4. The only slab problem we have.
One last move to do.
Cross through.
Can she match it?
Oh.
Yeah.
When she dabbed her right foot behind her there, you wondered if she was just going to slip off. But she managed to hold it. Here's Akiyo. Even for the top climbers like Akiya Noguchi, who are used to a bit of media attention, the fact that she's been on national TV, the fact she's been doing press conferences in Tokyo, it's a new kind of pressure. She won't be used to it, and until it happens, you don't know how it'll affect you. So far, fortunately, she's struggling somewhat with women's problem 1. So she didn't have the best start in Meiringen. She was 4th. Solid start, but considering that she's won the last 2 World Cup overall titles, she hasn't quite looked herself. Be great for the competition and for the local crowd, obviously. She can rediscover some form, but she doesn't like that problem. Still plenty left. Not a lot of tops in this final. So Akiyo is still with plenty of chance to make her way into the top 6 and a place in the finals. So, 2 big names appearing on the right hand side of your screen. We've got Alexei Rubtsov, who won last week in Meiringen, and Anna Sturr of Austria in the women's competition. There she is on the left. nothing short of a legend in the sport. 22 World Cup wins. Staggering record. And this is a wall that she will climb well on, you would imagine. Wait till we get to Innsbruck and you will hear a roar when Anna Stor comes out.
Yeah, for sure.
It's her hometown, still lives there.
She didn't have a great performance in Grindelwald last weekend.
No, she didn't make the semis, but
hopefully she just wipe that from her head and push on and climb strong again this week.
well, she's
Looking very good.
cruising up women's problem 1. Looked like, yeah, we did speak too soon. Often it can be quite deceptive. She looked very solid up to that point, straight through the dyno, up to the blue volume, seemingly no problems. That dyno is sloping downhill considerably. Alexei Rubtsov, last week's winner, just figuring out how to get his weight over to the right without his foot slipping off. Try and reset here.
I think most of the people who have done this one have managed to get their left foot on that higher hold where his right foot is.
I think he's
There we go.
figured out the same. So got a hand to the top, not both, and not in control. So not topped it. It's James Kazo. He's down in 7th right now. Topped problem 2. It's the only climber so far not to have topped men's problem 3. Although Yoshisuke Ogata is on it now, and he hasn't topped it just yet. Here's Anna Stor going for the top hold. Left hand, right hand. And a men's problem 3, yes, another successful top. So fortunately for James, yeah, you would fear that might count against him. The only climber not to top problem 3 so far. Yeah, so Anna Stor, 1 problem, 1 top, walks in front of the camera there. Hello, Anna.
We haven't had more than 2 tops in the guys, so if he does this last one, he could still be in with a chance, but we haven't seen a top on this one yet, so could be unlikely.
Yeah, the pressure is on him here because men's problem 3 is the only person so far not to have topped it. And when you have a problem like that that's getting consistently topped, you're going to need to pull something out the bag if you don't manage it yourself. So James, if he stand any chance, he needs to get up this problem 4. Just to the left of him there, we've got Meiko Taki. No, not quite. Here's Alexei trying again. Has been topped this by Kokoro Fuji and by Misha Picoleraz. It just slips off. You can see how poor those footholds are. Oh! Oh. Slightly different way of doing it there from Berit Schweiger. Good end result though, doesn't look too impressed. James Kazo, you fear running out of time here. Currently in joint 8th. Cleaners are out on most of the problems. There's only Alexei Rubtsov. James Kazo and Meiko Take still climbing. Here's Alexei. Well, the defence.
I think James has run out of time there.
Defence of his World Cup that he won in Meiringen. Not begun well for Alexei. So Jan Hoyer Next out in the men's competition, quick recap: Fanny Gibert, Clément Collier and Aya Ono are the women's top 3, followed by Petra Klingler and Anna Sturr, who've only completed 2 boulders.
Now, Jan is a big guy to fit in that small space on M1, so I think he might struggle with this one, unless he decides to go with the jump straight to the finish method again.
Well, I remember last year in the European Championships, we were down in the press pen right underneath the final men's problem that Jan had to top to win the competition. He did it completely differently to everyone else, powered through it, and it was one of the most incredibly powerful, dynamic pieces of climbing I've ever seen. So if anyone's capable of it, it's him. You would have thought, as a rule, this overhanging wall would suit a big, strong, tall climber like Jan, but as you say, it's quite a compressed move on that first problem. It's good route setting because it turns it from a burly overhang into something that also requires you to be compact and controlled. Clever problem. He's had one go at it, made quick progress, he's off now. Didn't quite make it. Kukura Fuji, meanwhile, on men's problem 2. Top problem 1 and a second go.
Oh, that's strong.
That is strong shoulders. And he tops problem 2. So a big round of applause.
He's happy with that one.
As well he might be. Here's Aki Noguchi. Just didn't get on with problem 1. Which currently has Melissa Leneve on it. We haven't seen her yet. Now this move has proved the end of many an attempt so far.
It still looks like even if you stick that next move, you've still got a lot of climbing to go before you get to the top.
And a top on women's problem 3. There we see it from Michaela Tracy. Just as I said that, she had one hand on the left hand hold, one hand on the right, and I actually thought she was going to let go, and that wouldn't have been a successful top. She needs both hands on the right hand hold. Men's problem 4. What a beast that is. No tops on it so far. I don't think, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think we've even had a climber make a close attempt to get the top hold, let alone keep their hands on it.
No, I think Dimitri was maybe the closest to sticking the move, but still quite far off, I think.
We haven't had anything more than a lunge for it. We haven't had a close call even on that one, let alone a top. So here's Melissa on the left, Melissa Leneve, second place in Meiringen, her first podium in the World Cup since 2013, but she came in good form. Second in the French Bouldering Championships. Jan Hoyer didn't make the finals in Meiringen, that was one of the big shocks. But he's made it here, qualified 5th.
In the guys, it's so unpredictable. Anyone could make it through, and there could be big surprises. That's why it's such a great spot. Like you never know what's going to happen.
Melissa, very close. The French team, it's probably worth commenting on, flew into Japan on Friday. Today is Sunday. They qualified yesterday. Now, if you've ever taken a long flight, particularly west-east or east-west, crossing multiple time zones, you will know what that does to your body. There were a few eyebrows raised, including mine, that you would fly in the day before the qualification round. Didn't seem to do Melissa any harm there, qualified 5th. But still, you would have thought a slightly risky tactic, because the way I felt the day after we arrived, if that's anything to go by, I don't think I would have been able to get off the ground on any boulder problems.
The Swiss team flew in the day before as well, but they came in the morning, and the French team arrived last Friday night. So they literally got to the hotel, went to bed, and then got up for the competition.
It's a risky tactic. You wonder if it might be worth a couple of extra nights in hotels in terms of cost, but as I say, it doesn't seem to have affected him too much. Here's Anna Sturm, problem 2. Solsar, that was of Korea. That was our first glimpse of her on women's problem 1. It was a glimpse. Rustam Gomanov is also out. He's on problem 1 for the men. Rustam yesterday is very relaxed. Been doing this a long time. Takes his competing very seriously. He's keeps a food diary and very professional in his outlook, but nice and relaxed as well. Enjoys the experience. Loves climbing in front of a crowd. Another person that's enjoying climbing in front of this crowd is Alexei Rubtsov.
I'm excited to see how Rustam will get on M4 actually. Very lightweight and strong on the crimp. Could be the first descent.
We saw a top there on women's 3 from Petra Klingler. She's been climbing well recently. Usually smiling, always determined. Yeah, Rustam yesterday. He knows from his statistics he's actually getting stronger. He's getting slightly older. I believe he's 26 now, Rustam. But he's getting stronger. He says in the gym his numbers are going up, developing more power. Still very light. Here goes Rustam. Got over 2 minutes left, so we'll have time for another attempt if doesn't get it this time. Don't forget, he won the overall Boulder World Cup in 2012.
Just off.
And a top there from Alexei Rubtsov, last week's winner in Meiringen.
Just off screen there, we had a very close attempt by Yoshiyuki on M4, almost holding the swing around the corner.
On men's problem 4.
Yeah.
So far, the nemesis of everyone who's been on it. As is, well, women's problem 4. Berit Schweiger. Had 2 tops, Aya Ono and Fanny Gilbert. So, Tomoaki Takata, Japanese climber, going for men's problem 3, gets the left hand, doesn't get the right. That has proved perhaps the trickiest move on that problem. Here's Anna Sturm, women's problem 2.
Oh, first person to stick that move.
Great to see Anna back in the semi-finals. And you may just be able to see there, that is Anna just walking off the stage. 40 seconds left, but I think doesn't feel she can make much more progress on that one. So she's taken a scorecard and she'll have the extra rest. Thank you very much. So Yoshiyuki Ogata, men's problem 4, hasn't seen a top. No, doesn't see a top this time. So quickly while we have a second, we had a semi-final trivia question. It was, what was the age gap between the oldest and the youngest woman in yesterday's qualifying? If you know the answer, go to hashtag IFSC Trivia. We have our media man monitoring Twitter, keeping me updated. And we have some correct answers. The correct answer, I can now reveal, is 24. So, well done, Alex Scrabble and Boulder Chan, 24 years. 24-year age gap is pretty impressive. Not a lot of sports who see that. The best part of a quarter of a century in age difference. The oldest climber yesterday was Jihong of Korea. And the youngest climber was Nanako Kura, joint with Mao Nakamura, both of Japan, both born in the year 2000. I will have to check for you who had the earlier birthday. But the correct answer was 24 years. Well done to everyone who got it right. I'll have to come up with a trickier one next week. Meanwhile, on women's problem 2, no, not that time, Miho Nanaka from the home crowd.
Jan.
And it's just wasn't on screen, but Jan Hoyer with a very close attempt on men's problem 2. Got Albon Levier out on men's problem 1 here.
Alban is another climber which I climbed with in the youth competitions. So he's a similar age to me. But yeah, he's climbing really well at the moment.
4th in Meiringen. Can he match that? Another successful top on men's problem 3. Kokoro Fuji. Here's Melissa Lenev. By far the furthest anyone's got on women's problem 2. And a funny facial expression there from Melissa Lenev. Can't believe that's a hold. Unfortunately, Melissa, that is the hold. And you've done a lot better on it than anyone else has managed.
Unfortunately, that doesn't give her any more advantage.
It doesn't, no. 2 minutes 20 left on the clock, though. We'll give us some encouragement. Here's Jeremy Bondet. It's by far the furthest anyone's got on men's problem 4, sorry. And that is a top on men's problem 4. Massive shout and well earned. And Miho Nanaka looks understandably heartbroken. Both hands, on that top hold. Women's problem 1, but did not control it. Will not count as a top.
So we have 3 tops from Kokoro and Jeremy Bonda. We could possibly see a full 4 tops from Kokoro Fuji. See how he does on this last one.
So Alexander Avadunk is currently in 7th place and he has 2 tops. So you will need at least 2 tops. And not many attempts to make the finals. At least 2 tops. Alexander, 2 tops, 6 attempts. That will not be good enough to make the final. You'll have to do better than that if you want to make the final. Jan Hoyer, top problem 2 there. Here's Miho Nanaka. Now she knows she can get to the top hole. She's just got to hold on to it. Have both hands on it. Heartbreaker. We saw the same from James Cassay earlier on at men's problem 1. Things might have been different for him. He's down in 11th overall. He won't be making the final, but if he'd got both hands onto that problem 1 top hold, if he'd stuck it, who knows. Here's Melissa Lenev. As we said earlier, she's the only person that's made a real inroad into this women's problem. Only person that's had a sustained attempt at grabbing that next hole, but she didn't even get that far that time. And she's not going to have another go. We can just see her walking off, taking a scorecard.
Michaela's slowly running out of time here on the slab. Just a few seconds left.
Currently sitting in 4th.
No, that's it for her. She's run out of time.
Run out of time, but she's entitled to carry on.
No, they have to get off in semis. It's only finals. If it is in qualifiers and semis, they have to go off when the time runs out.
That's why we have you.
In finals, you're right, they can, if they step on before the time runs out, then they can finish their attempt.
My apologies. So, Kokoro Fuji, he will be a popular leader. It's followed by Jeremy Bondet, Dmitry Sharafutinov.
So, Monica Recci was highest qualifier in one of the groups yesterday. She's looking really good. Hope she can carry it on today.
Tomoe Narasaki, second place in the qualifiers. We had a lot of big names missing from this men's semi-final. Not least Jongwon Chon, last year's overall winner. 2012 overall winner, Rustam Gelmanov, top scrubber 2, little fist pump, strolls off the mat. Yeah, as well as Jongwon Chon, we're also missing Jorg Verhoeven, last week's third place finisher, excuse me, last week's third place finisher, and Rei Sugimoto, also missing from this semi-final. Of course, last week's second place in Meiringen was Martin Stranick, who this week, if you just joined us, did not make it to isolation in time and will not climb today. He is not taking part. Which is a shame because he climbed fantastically last week. And you would have thought this might have been a wall that suited him. But the rules are the rules, he wasn't there on time.
He will be kicking himself for that. He will be annoyed with himself.
I do wonder what's gone on there. I'm not brave enough to ask Martin himself.
He's a big guy.
He is a big guy. Yeah, men's from 4. Is it about to see its second top? No, it's not. Jeremy Bondet got that. He was the only person who has. I was about to say, I'm not quite brave enough to ask Martin himself. But I will try and find out why he was not in isolation in time. All we know is that he wasn't. He spoke to the judges, but it's a concrete rule. It's not one of those that's flexible. You can't appeal that decision. You're either there or you're not. And he wasn't, unfortunately. So we will not see him in action. Shout of frustration there from Alexei Rubtsov. Really needs to top that men's problem 3, you would imagine. Actually easier to count the climbers who haven't topped it. 7 so far. Tomoaki Tokata is on men's problem 4. Seen one top, Jeremy Bondet. No one else really has even got close to it. Tomoe Narasaki is on problem 1. He had both hands on the finishing hold on the last time. Can he go one better? Get them both on and control it this time. Trying to simultaneously keep his right foot on, move his left foot, push his right hand up. He's thinking, can I go for it statically? He might be able to. He might. No, not quite. Big shout of frustration from the crowd. So, Tomoaki Takata, this is his last boulder, number 4.
So we'll shortly be getting our first place qualifiers coming out. Shauna from Great Britain and Sean McCall from Canada.
Yeah, Sean McCall didn't make the final last week, and on the various internet forums, quite a few people fancied him to do well. It was a bit of a surprise that, but this time qualifies first for the semi-finals. And here he is, bottom right of your screen, just obscured by a chap cleaning the holes. And to his left is Shauna Coxey, dominant in her win in Meiringen last week. You can see Jan Hoyer there, third from the left, just conferring with the judges. And you may have heard over the tannoy, Sean McCall's name being announced. So, got Akia Noguchi on women's problem 4. So far, Akia Noguchi has no tops. She has not topped a problem yet. Here's Shauna Coxey. Very controlled and cuts it loose and the legs swing out. She controls the swing. She's back in command. Up to the bonus hold. Climbed brilliantly last week in Meiringen and then here in the qualifiers. She carried that form on, topped her qualification group. You didn't think she was going to blow it, did you? Never in doubt.
She's one of the shorter climbers, so she has to be quite dynamic, and it's quite a dynamic move, that one, so I think she's probably pretty confident that she can do it.
Here's Melissa Lenev. She got the furthest we've seen on women's problem 2. She didn't top it, so unfortunately for her, getting the furthest won't count for much. Here she is on women's problem 3, holds it. Just got a match from Melissa, she knows.
Nice work.
Round of applause from the crowd, great camera angle that. Whoever installed that needs a prize. Kia Noguchi. No tops.
Yeah, she's all the way down in 19th place at the moment. Not like Akio.
And if she was to stand a chance of making the final, she would need to top this in less than 2 attempts. And I'm pretty sure she already had 2 attempts, and we have a successful top from Kokura Fuji on men's problem 4.
So
the live score hasn't quite updated, but I can assure you he has now topped all 4 problems.
Yeah, the only guy to do that so far.
The only guy to do that. The home crowd will be delighted. Here's Miho Nonaka. Looking at women's problem 2. She's not the first climber to cross her arms and wonder what to do. That's proved pretty tough. Not had a top yet, that problem. I have to say, it's not had anyone come particularly close to it. No one's really ventured anywhere near the final hold. Meanwhile, on men's problem 3, we've had a lot of people venturing to the top hold and controlling it and topping it, and Jan Hoyer could add his name to that list. So if you're looking at our app, it's not quite updated yet, but Jan topped problem 2. And problem 3, there we go, the app updates. You may be looking at it in real time, same as me. That moves him up to 3rd with 1 problem still to go. So Akia Noguchi will not make the finals today. She's not topped a boulder. She's not looked herself. Silence in the hall. It's a big disappointment. She's become something of a national celebrity recently.
Maybe the pressure got to her with being in the hometown and home crowd and everything.
Could well be a case to be made there, because the top three of Fanny Gibert, Chloe Collier and Petra Klinger. Petra Klinger in second, Chloe Collier in third. Kokura Fuji is dealing well with the pressure. 4 tops. Jeremy Bonnet in second, Dimitri Sharafutinov third. So, Tomoe Narasaki, if he's going to make the finals, given how tough men's problem 4 has looked, he's going to need this. Women's problem 2, Monica Recci. Got a hand on that rail, got some purchase on it, but I believe Melissa Lenev is the only person to have touched that round blob hold above those 2 volumes. I believe she's the only climber to have even touched that. And I'm pretty sure she didn't even get a fingertip to the finishing hole. So women's problem 2, proving very troublesome. Here's Anna Sturr, she's on women's problem 4. Currently sitting in 8th place. 1 top, that was on the first boulder. And
if
a bonus.
Tops the last one, she'll move up to 3rd, so she still has a chance of making finals.
I have to say, if anyone was going to top women's problem 2 going into this event, I might have backed Anna Sturr to be the one. She didn't. Here we see Rustam Gelmanov. He's been climbing well today. Currently in 10th, but he'll move up if he can just match there. He does. He didn't quite get problem 1, came quite close. Tops problem 2, tops problem 3. So Sol Sa, Korea, 22-year-old. She's on women's problem 3. Been a fun problem to watch this. Had a bit of everything. More physical than it looks, I would imagine, getting onto that volume that she's got her right hands on. Shoulders and elbows and working hard. And once you're there, you've got a bit of a leap for the top. Alexei Rubtsov. How many climbers have we seen slip off there? Anna Sturr, bit of urgency in her movement, jogging across the mat, cleans the, gets the hold cleaner herself.
And Anna is a well-seasoned competitor. She will know that she needs to do this last boulder to get into the final.
She will, incredibly experienced. As I said earlier, 22 World Cup wins. Don't do that without knowing how to win. She knows she's got to top that problem. So Tomoe Narasaki is over on problem 2. A lot of body attention required. Seen plenty of tops. That's quite an unusual method.
We saw one of the other Japanese guys trying this early, but didn't manage to do it.
The problem is
very close.
That right hand is.
Nice.
Well, it turns out it's no problem at all. What I was about to say is that right hand is so poor that when your left shoulder detaches and you begin to swing round, just staying on the wall is so difficult. You saw there, men's problem 4, Alexei Rubtsov has got a big smile on his face. Thought he'd try something completely different. Anna Sturr getting frustrated. She needs this. Top problem 1. Cruise problem 1 on her 3rd attempt. But
so we are done with problem 1 now. All the climbers are completed on that. We won't be seeing anyone else climbing on that problem.
No, we won't be seeing Anna Sturr. Seemed very relaxed yesterday, really happy to be in Japan. It's her second time here. She's competed in a World Cup in 2009. But no joy. She was next to me at breakfast in the hotel this morning. Very relaxed, big smile on her face. And I have to say, I had her down as a good bet for the finals, but she won't make it. A woman who you would imagine will make the finals is Shauna Coxey. Big question is, can she do women's problem 2, which so far has stopped, well, almost everyone. Everyone, in fact, but interesting if we stay with Shauna on this problem. I think we will. No,
very close.
Can't hold the rail. Smile on her face, asking the bloke to, asking the chap to clean the hole for her. Here's Sean McCall of Canada, won his qualifying group. Looked in superb form. True all-rounder Sean McCall. Competes in lead and speed and boulder.
So Shauna, after that first boulder, flashing it, she is already in 5th place. So currently she's already in the final. There's still a few problems to go, so I'm not sure if she might possibly still be knocked out, but currently she's in 5th and already in.
The intricacies of the bouldering scoring system. Let's concentrate on Sean McCall, who tops problem 2. Very popular Sean McCall. Usually gets down off his boulder, gives the crowd a wave. Here's Melissa Lenev. Currently sitting joint first with Chloe Collier. If she tops this, she will make the final. Permutations can wait though. We've got plenty of action still to come. Last week's winner, Shauna Coxey, still only on problem 2. Jan Hoyer is on men's problem 4.
Oh, ripping off that crimp.
You have to say that is a finger injury waiting to happen, the way they're flying off that. Well, we commented quite near the start of this semi-final that a lot of the problems are thought-provoking rather than based on finger strength. This one is thought-provoking, but without finger strength you have absolutely no chance.
Yes.
Huge cheer from the crowd there for Miho Nanaka, tops problem 3.
Good Melissa finish this one off. She's looking very good.
Melissa Lenev. Oh!
Just like Aya Noe earlier, almost slipping on that last move.
Exactly the same movement. The right foot shot around the back, and it really destabilises you when you've got a poor foothold, as you do on that problem. But she managed to hold on to it, and she successfully tops it, and she moves up to 2nd. So, Miho Nanaka and Shauna Coxey, the only 2 climbers left out. Oh no, Monica Recchi, excuse me. Monica Recchi's still out. And Solsa, forget that. We're trying to work out the permutations here. For two people who I think it'd be fair to say math is not their strong point. Proving tricky. Let's concentrate on the action, do what we do best. quick recap of the scores. We have Fanny Gibert in first, Melissa Lenev in third, and Petra Klinger with Chloe Collier in fourth. And Kokura Fuji with a clean sweep, 4 tops. In first, Jeremy Bonnet in second, and Dmitry Sharafutinov in third. Here's Monica Recchi, she's in women's problem 3. Salsa, women's problem 4. Rustam Gomanov. Now you said early on, you think he could be the person to nail this problem. So far it's only been Jeremy Bondet.
If you can get past this first tricky section, you can get up to that bonus crimp. He is very strong on the crimp. Very
light as well.
Yeah.
You can see there, we've just seen Jan Hoyer on this problem. We've now got Rustam Gomanov, and the difference in build is night and day.
Jan said to me earlier he has been training with Rustam. Like you said, they are completely different builds, so training together, like, they're definitely going to improve a lot training on each other's styles.
Not quite worked for Rustam on that occasion. Here's Monica Recchi, look at these 2 top holds. Pausing, just get yourself set, wondering if it's better to smear on the wall or not. Probably not, look at how she's going. Both hands up, she's just clutching her left shoulder. Yeah, heavily strapped as well. Not a sympathetic move for the shoulders, that, because as soon as you latch those 2 holes, basically you've got to lock your torso in place so that your lower body doesn't rotate out too much. So here is Salsa. Now just slips off. Quite a change in style this for the women. A slab out of nowhere after 3 quite physical problems. I suppose the top move on women's problem 3 is a bit of kind of compact climbing, but generally pretty burly stuff.
Yeah.
And then you've got to control your heart rate, get rid of your pump, and climb very precisely in a controlled way on a slab. Not easy to do.
Just setting up for this last jump again.
You closed last time.
Yeah.
And this time she's even closer. Just needs to match.
Nice work from Money. Oh, Rustam. If we can get a
Rustam is close.
Rustam, he's getting very close.
Here he is. Oh.
Nice work.
Great climb from Rustam and great predictions from the co-commentator. Earning his money today. I think on the maths front we're about even. Very poor. But on the prediction front you definitely streaks ahead.
I actually did maths at A level. I don't think it's paid off that much.
That's a sad indictment of the British education system. I did it to GCSE. Danced out of the room and I never had to do it again. Beginning to regret that decision. So Salsa, she's got 23 seconds. Gonna have to be quick here.
Yeah, 15 seconds is not a lot of time to go for a technical balancy slab.
No, it's not enough time. So she's off the problem and she's out of the competition. No tops unfortunately for Salsa. Very promising the qualifiers. 4th. Can't match that today in the semi-finals. In front of what is now pretty close to a capacity crowd. We are sold out for later on. So, Miho Naka is climbing on women's problem 4. Alban Levier is on men's problem 4, excuse me. Sean McCall on men's problem 3 and Shauna Coxey on women's problem 3. Sean having a very thorough clean of the holds there. And a very thorough inspection. Here's a technical question for you. We saw Sean there, he backed off away from men's problem 3, he was having a long look at it. He stood right next to men's problem 4. Do you, as a competitor, if you think, okay, I'm going to get this problem, do you have a sneaky look over to the side at the one that you might have next, try and get some advanced beta, or you just head down one job at a time?
You're not technically supposed to.
I know you're not technically supposed to, but...
Yeah, most people, yeah, if you're, say if you have a go and you don't do it first go and you stood on the mat waiting for your next attempt, you might just have a sneaky look over and just kind of have a check out what you've got next.
I don't... I suspect the next time you compete, the judge will be watching you like a hawk.
I don't think it's just me.
Okay, that could be a controversial line of questioning. We'll leave it there. I was just interested to see Sean go over there, and I thought, I wonder if he knows that this has been a problem plenty of people have got to top of, and he might be thinking, yeah, okay, I'm confident here. Let's have a look at this other one. Unofficially, well, officially, of course he's not. Getting very close to this men's problem 3. Has been topped by a majority of climbers. But I think this last move from getting just your left hand to getting both hands on seemed to prove the crux. Just needs to get that left hand solid so he can commit with his right.
Oh, so he's just stepped
now
over
he's just
the tape
stepped
there.
out.
Yeah, the judges are calling him for
The
it.
judges are explaining it.
And he was over the tape there. So I think they'll make him go again.
Successful top from Shauna Coxey. So that's 2 tops for Shauna. She didn't manage problem 2. None of the women have.
So I think that safely puts in the final, I think.
There's a bit of discussion here. You can see Sean McCall. I wonder what... Now, I wonder if the point he's making is, look, the black tape ends. When we cut back, you'll see it. It's an interesting point here.
I think he is saying that he put his foot above the tape.
Yeah,
but I think on the feed you could see that he was just below slightly.
We saw he chatted to his judges that judge his problem. The chief judge has been over. And Sean is looking at the problem again and getting himself reset. So whatever they've told him, he's accepted it. Whether he agrees or not, it's not really relevant. He's going to have to try again, whether he likes it or not.
He's used a lot of time speaking to the judges now as well, so I don't know.
He has used a lot of time.
But he got there, so he can probably get there again.
He can. The only thing that we're playing in his mind is he was stood there a long time trying to get his feet sorted, and the only way he could do it, or the only way he was successful, was a method that the judges have ruled to be illegal. So you wonder if he'll be thinking to himself, well, I hope I can do this the legal way. You wonder if it's playing on his mind slightly.
Oh, maybe he can do it the same way, but just make sure that his foot is above the tape.
Yeah.
This time.
Be interesting later on to get a replay of that. You can see there, just above his head, he's now obscuring it, unfortunately. Just behind him there, behind his neck, the tape runs out. The tape marks the edge of the problem. So here's Sean again. Now to me, that is below the tape again.
Can't really see because of his leg.
Shout of frustration there. Be interested to see if he got that, Sean. That was annoying. The angle we were looking at was just bang on his leg. We shall see. So Monica Recchi and Tomoa Narasaki are out. You can see up and to the right of Tomoa, you could see up and right, was the tape that was causing all the problems there. Just trying to confirm for you whether Sean McCall topped problem 3. He did not. So Sean McCall did not get to the top of problem 3. According to the judges, he had his hands on the top hold and he was controlled twice. They've ruled twice that his foot was below the black tape and therefore it was outside the area of the problem. So Sean sits in 13th. So of the climbers who finished, few big surprises. Jan Hoyer is in 8th place. For the second week running, he will not make the final. Ditto Yaneg Krudi, he's in 7th place. Both had 2 tops, came down to attempts. They both had 2 tops of 4 attempts. Needed to do it in 3 or less at this stage. It could change. They needed to do it in less.
If my maths is correct,
oh, that's a
which it
dangerous
might not
statement.
be, I think if Sean flashes the last boulder, he will be tied in the final.
I agree. Even with our maths, 2 heads is surely better than 1. If you are experiencing a problem with the scoring app, we are too, but luckily we have the advantage of the big screens here. So apologies if the app is not working. Doesn't seem to be working at our end. I hope it is for you. There's Sean McCall. He's now... Okay, he's now being marked as having topped that. So that changes everything.
It'll be interesting to see if there are any appeals made on that decision.
It will be very interesting to see. So when it first came up on the scoreboard, Sean was marked. You'll have to take my word for this. He was marked as not having topped that. He's now marked as having topped it, still in 9th place. So some controversy there. Before the finals, if we can't get the information before we go off air this time, before the finals, we will clear up what happened there. How the judges came to their decision. Both of us, our initial reaction was that his foot was in an illegal position. But we shall see. Monica Recchi there. Currently in 8th. Tomoa Narasaki is on the men's problem 4.
I think these guys are only going to get one more attempt in on this one with the time that's left.
So being told that the app and the live scoring on the IFSC website is now lost its connection. So I apologise for that. If it's any scant consolation, it means that we don't have access to it here at the commentary booth. But as I said, we are able to see the big screen, which we can just about make out from here.
So with Sean being given that top, if that stays as it is, he's in 9th position at the moment.
Okay.
So he'll need to top this last one, I think, to make it through. Or possibly get a bonus.
We can see the scores there in the women's event. Shauna Coxey She may have had one attempt. She hasn't had long on this top problem. It's followed by Fanny Gilbert. Here's Sean McCall. Some controversy around men's from 3. As things stand, he is in 9th place.
So this is the last boulder, the last climbers on the last boulder now. So after these guys, there won't be any more climbing after this.
Now Sean cannot make the final unless he tops this. It's the only way Sean can make the final. Whether he knows that, we don't know. It would seem the results are back on the website. Apologies for the technical issues. They are back. Thank you to Japanese Telecom, or whoever provides the Wi-Fi, for reconnecting us. Apologies for the brief issues there. So Sean, if he's awarded men's problem 3, has 2 tops and 4 attempts. That won't be enough for the final. Needs to top this. If he tops it, he's into the final. If he doesn't, he's not.
So if he does, he will knock out Roland Rugens of Latvia. So I'm sure they will have something to say about that.
I suspect the Latvian team will be straight into the judge's office if Sean McCall tops his problem. If he doesn't top it, it will just go down as a bit of a controversial moment, which ultimately didn't affect the result. Here's Shauna Coxey. Shauna's already guaranteed her place in the final. 4 female climbers have had 2 tops, one of whom is Shauna. So she will be in the final.
Now, this is where it would be interesting. If this was a steep climb and Shauna was already in the final, she's guaranteed a place, she could then decide to not put much effort in on the last one, maybe just give it one go. But it's only a slab, this one, so it's not going to tire her out.
Will she know that she's into the final?
She's quite experienced, so she's probably got a good idea. Might not be completely certain. But
what she may not know is that she's going to win this semi-final. She has 2 boulders, 2 tops. And the second best is Fanny Gilbert, 2 boulders with 3 tops. So Shauna will win the final, regardless of what happens here. So you'd have to assume she doesn't know that. She may be climbing for pride, but if it was me, and I knew, and I'd had a look at the scoreboard, which is probably hidden from them.
Oh yeah, it's quite an overhanging wall.
Yeah, you won't have seen this on the live stream, but the scoreboard is high up, it's behind the wall, and it's set back.
It's above where Sean McCall is standing right now.
It's right above him, yeah.
Behind that overhanging
but
face.
It's also set back a couple of meters, and I wonder if the competitors can actually see it. If Shauna can see it, and she's got the prerequisite mathematics skills, she will know she's already won this semi-final. And she may be climbing for pride. If it was me, I have to say, I'd be thinking, well, every time I get on this wall, I risk injuring myself, I risk pulling a tendon, hurting an ankle on the fall.
And just generally getting a little bit tired as well for finals.
Yeah, and you're using vital energy. So Shauna has stopped. Perhaps she saw the screen. Perhaps she knew she'd done enough anyway and she just fancied to go. Either way, she won't top problem 4, but she'll win the semi-final. Here's Sean McCall. 25 seconds, no. He's got 25 seconds, but he chooses not to take them.
So Sean McCall won't be making it through to the finals today.
Top the qualification, doesn't make the final. So, confirmation for you. Shauna Coxey wins the women's semi-final after coming 6th in Meiringen in the semi-final, but then going on to win the overall competition. Fanny Gilbert is 2nd, Melissa Lenev in 3rd, Petra Klinger is 4th, Chloe Collier and Miho Nanaka make up the rest of the final. So, the big surprise there. In 20th place, Akiya Noguchi. She will be disappointed. She's, as we've said a couple of times already, had a lot of media attention, possibly the pressure, possibly just pure fatigue. I can assure you, if you've seen Akiya Noguchi this week, you've seen a camera crew. She's been followed everywhere. In the men's event, Kokoro Fuji delighting the home crowd, 4 tops. He's followed by Jeremy Bondet. Rustam Gomanov is 3rd. Dmitry Sharafutinov, the second Russian, is 4th. In 5th place, Misha Pikal-Ruaz. He'll be very happy with that. And Roland Rugens in 6th. Sean McCall is 7th after a somewhat controversial 3rd boulder. And if you're just joining us and you're wondering why Martin Stranick is in 20th place, last week's silver medalist, it is because he did not make it into the isolation zone in time. Well, fantastic semi-final. Thank you very much to Nathan Phillips for joining me and for his help with rules and regulations, climate tactics, and maths a bit less so. We will see you for the finals. We are on live at 1400, that's 2 p.m. Japanese time. That is for the opening ceremony. The climbing begins at 14:20 Japanese time. Have a look on the internet what time that is for you, and we will see you then. We're looking forward to it.